Hi, here's a short video on why it's important to use Pack and Go when you want to email someone a drawing or when you're submitting a drawing for part of your homework. I already have a part created. You can see it here. It's a hexagon. It has a hole that goes all the way through it. It's made of brass and about 50 millimeters in depth. And about, I think each side is also 50 millimeters. So let's create a drawing for this part. So I'm going to just go to File, New, select Drawing, click OK. A template pops up. I want to set the units on my template to be millimeters as well, since that was an ANSI one. ANSI template, it probably would have popped those dimensions in inches, so I'll make them for certain to be millimeters. I can now import my model. The model's already open, so it's pretty straightforward. We'll do multiple views, front, top, and right side views. We'll uncheck the trimetric just to be a little cleaner in our model. We have view origins were being shown, so I'll take those out because we don't need that to make this model any better. But what we could do on this is turn on hidden lines just so we can see those. So I'll select the different views. And then on the left side you can see show hidden lines. And now we can see where those holes, where the hole is drilled through it. Now what we could do if we were really trying to, well, we should do it. Well, let's add our dimensions to this model. So we'll import our model dimensions into all the views, the entire model, eliminate duplicates, say OK. So now we've got some dimensions on this. And if we really wanted, we could do other things to improve the readability of those. We could do something like a section view. You can see I'm just going to place it right here. We should edit the sheet format since this title is so big. Let's drop that back down to 12. Go back, edit the sheet. Okay, now we can say we're ready to go at this point. We could do a lot of other things to improve the readability of this design, but let's just say we're done. So what is the next thing to do? Of course, we have to save this drawing. The part was named Pack Go Part, so the drawing gets named the same thing. The file extension just gets updated from SLD PRT to SLD DRW. And it will place it by default in the same folder that the part was found in. And so my Pack Go Part is in my model class models folder. And so that's where it's going to default to be placing this drawing as well. And so now we've got this done. And we could, if we were thinking about, okay, we're all finished, we want to, email the drawing to a friend or have somebody evaluate it. The problem is if you just email the drawing file, you'll get an error message. Okay, and you'll get an error message because the drawing is referencing this part file that you can see me pointing at now. And so if I don't include the part file in the same email attachment, or I don't include both of these in a homework submittal, when someone goes to open the drawing, if the part file is not in the same folder as what the drawing originally created the part is in, you'll get an error message. So that's a mouthful of words there, but let me demonstrate it. So I'm going to just, let's cut this part file out of this folder, and I'll just place it on my desktop just so I have it handy. Okay, so now if I go and try to just open this drawing, you're going to see a dialog box pop up with an error message. And it says, browse for file, suppress component, suppress all components. If I do nothing, watch what happens to my drawing. I'm viewing it right now, but after about 10 seconds, the views disappear and get replaced with these little shadow boxes. And that's because the drawing itself is here, and it was submitted in homework or attached in an email, but what wasn't included were the information that made up the different views. And in other words, the part itself is not being referenced by the drawing. I can see that if I go to File and look at Find References. File not found, it says, for that part. That's why we have the error message. That's why we need to learn how to use something known as Pack and Go. So what is Pack and Go? Well, let me close this out before I forget. Let me also copy the part file now back that we had before and place it back into the folder where the drawing's expecting it. Okay. Now let me go and reopen that drawing, and we won't have this error message now because the file will be found. So after this opens, everything looks great. The way to do Pack and Go so that it'll always look good when someone goes to open your drawing is you go to File, scroll down about 2/3 of the way, and you'll see one of the choices is called Pack and Go. This brings up a dialog box that has in the center an indentured list showing the drawing and then all the parts that are associated with it. If it were an assembly, it would show me the assembly model and then all the parts and any drawings found within that assembly. In this case, you can check off with these check boxes things you want included in this Pack and Go file. In our case, we want to include the drawing and the part. So they're checked here, and I also said include drawings up here. Down on the lower part, because we want to submit this as homework or send it as an email, we just don't want the things sort of packed into a folder. We actually want them put into a folder and then zipped together. So it's a single file that will work well with an email or a system like Moodle or Blackboard. So I click with the proper things all checked, I'll click Save. And after it's done saving, when I go back and look at my folder of information or on my Explorer, I've got the part, I've got the drawing, but more importantly, there's this pack go part.zip. This is what I would submit as homework. This is what I would email to someone as an attachment, because inside the zip file is both the part and the drawing. So that's what I always want to send. That's what I always want to submit as homework, because then when someone opens the drawing, all the images will be there. All the knowledge that you want someone to see on the face of the drawing or on those multiple sheets, whatever it is, those will be included, and there won't be this embarrassment of, I opened your file, but there's nothing there. Okay, so hope this was helpful. Have a great rest of your day, and keep doing SolidWorks.